sidewalk program that Public Works was talking about to, there's $100,000 in the budget for that right now, so maybe they'd be able to do that. But that sidewalk isn't broke up as bad as other ones that I think they're looking at in town. They're looking at some that are pretty bad.
But if we're gonna do the curb there, that's really bad.
Yeah, well, the curb would be the city.
Right.
So we'll have to find out how many feet they're going to do. That's probably 400 feet or so, I'm guessing.
Not sure on that.
But they do need to do something with their wall. But the wall's there, sidewalks there, curb would be ours. And you would try to accommodate it and do everything at the same time.
I'll stop over there tomorrow. Who can I contact to see if they can
Contact
for the city, to see if they can get that curb done, and would they have to go through Frank and?
No, Gary can talk to them.
I mean, whoever gets the curb project.
Well,
It really
it's
isn't.
a little different this year.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd probably still use the same contractor. That's something, we don't do curbs. We have no, forms, knowledge. The curbs are tricky. They're special. It's not just a straight line. It's down. Sidewalk, if we get the sidewalk program going, we can do a lot of sidewalks, which you hope to do and that depends if we keep composting or not.
I'll give you a call tomorrow, maybe we can swing over there if you have any free time.
See how many feet they're talking about.
I can walk the feet off. Whatever you need, I can do that.
No, not to let them tell us.
Yeah, we're probably best,
All right. Let's move on to landscaping. Due to the resignation of the city horticulturist, the city has requested quotes from two local landscapers to plant and maintain certain gardening beds and flower baskets throughout the certain areas of the city of Peru. Which, this is all pretty much new to me, and I think it may be pretty much new to you also. I just received the bids over the weekend, and last week I seen some specs on some of them, but I really didn't go through it because I wasn't aware I was going to be on that committee yet.
So I did review them, and right now I want to say that I did receive a call from Jim Moriarty at Specialty Landscape late this afternoon, withdrawing his bid. So we only have one bid. He just wasn't, with his staffing, he had some staffing issues and just doesn't feel that he'll be able to do a good job. So he wanted to bow out before he wasn't able to do it right.
Well, the areas we were looking at were downtown, the downtown area. They're going to have some hanging baskets and planters, the police station, airport, Mud Powell, Rotary Park. And that was kind of something that I questioned because I thought Rotary Park, they were maintaining that.
I think it was just there. I think they do most, but I think we do the first cleaning. I believe, and then Rotary takes over from there and maintains it.
It's only like 3 times a summer that they go.
Right.
They do a little cleaning in the early and then.
Didn't we have volunteers from JCPenney coming in to do Rotary Park this year?
Becky, I don't know that.
I thought that was covered.
There was a couple of dates that they had set aside. They had Washington in September, like fall.
Yeah, I thought it was McKinley. I thought they did 3. McKinley, they changed one, I think, from Rotary and he went to McKinley instead.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
All right.
Gary, they don't do any landscaping at Rotary. Nothing is done by the park except probably the bushes are cut, the grass is cut, and that's it. They have loads of flower beds all around that park and nothing is ever put in them.
Well, the way I understood it, they were supposed to. I mean, that's how I understood it. I mean, as far as the flower person, I couldn't.
We went down there the day that they were supposed to be there, and we were like 15, 20 minutes late, and there was nobody there, and there was nothing done.
We'll get into that discussion during public comment. The other areas like Centennial Park, Pulaski and Shooting Park Road, Sunset Park, Mausoleum, Municipal Building, Pulaski Square, Washington Park, Baker Lake, and the cemetery. The lowest bid came in at right around $18,000 or so. When comparing the wage of a horticulturist to, you know, subcontracting this out, it's pretty much, you look at it as being a no-brainer because of the salary and the wage compared to what we can get it done by outsourcing it. And it just seems like that would be a good way to go. But it just so happens today where I was kicking around and talked about, and I called Sherry to try to get some input, because I noticed she had done some work over at the airport last year, did some flowering beds in at the fire department. And that was the other thing, I didn't see the fire department in this
I thought the same.
estimate either.
And also, my understanding is the hanging baskets are not in the bids.
No, they weren't. The hanging baskets were in this bid.
So the police station, what's the difference between the police station and the fire station?
Two separate entities. And the fire station's behind it with, there's two separate flower beds.
Okay.
Actually, the one at the fire department's pretty good size. So I have another option I'd like to present to the public and talk to Becky more about it. Well, we'll just basically call it the VBP option. Volunteers for the Beautification of Peru. Basically creating a team of professional volunteers that can start as early as this week. The only financial obligation the city has is to purchase flowers, plants, fertilizers, etc., stuff that we need to get the ball rolling on that. The group so far would consist of Sherry Majak, Marsha Perez, Sherry's mother, myself, and anybody else that would like to volunteer to do that. I think that would be a good way to go. It would save the city a great amount of money, and there's some good talent there. I would like to maybe see about doing that, and implementing a program like that. I think that would be a great way to go and a step in the right direction. And of course, we would buy the plan would consist of surveying the gardening locations, make a list of the plants, flowers, and fertilizers. Once we take the survey, I would request a place in order for what we need. We could start prepping flower beds as early as this weekend. After all areas are planted, we will maintain them with assistance from, if we could possibly get a couple of summer workers that would be able to help with that, you know, during the week to help water, but that's something that we would also be willing to do. It doesn't look like there were any reduction in summer help this coming year.
Yeah, there was.
Was there?
Quite a bit.
Was there?
And number one, in that department, this department, I only brought one, not knowing what we were gonna do. So we are, and there's no supervisor in that department now. So we are really short on that department.
What would be the chance if we were to, let's just say the council didn't want to do this, or the committee didn't want to move forward with it. If you were to place an ad for even a $9 per hour summer helper and dedicate them to doing the gardening and maintaining, you know, the watering and all of that's still a pretty big savings. It's basically $9 an hour and $1,400 a month or so. It's still a.
The only problem I have with any of that is for the watering, for everything, if he's young, you can't have just a young kid, you have to.
No.
You know, I guess that's where I'm going with it. Where we had Mike Watts, at least he was in a position to oversee it, he was in charge of it, he knew he knows more about flowers than I ever know, or any of my guys ever know. But, the last thing I wanna do is have a couple of kids out there on their own, because I'll hear it from everybody here, believe me. You know, if that comes to that, you know, oh, they're schooling out here, and I just don't do that.
Well, even if we didn't take that route, that's something that, you know, I
I
really
think that's a huge undertaking for volunteers that are.
Well, to do the whole,
To
do everything you're looking at
and
on
also,
the
you know,
quote.
we obtain bids from professional landscapers and professionals that know how to do these things.
But also keep in mind, in the city of Ottawa, they can do the same thing. They have volunteers that do their whole downtown. It's beautiful down there.
Well, they have
I
60
agree.
plus volunteers.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a bigger downtown too. I mean, they've got plants everywhere. And I think it's something that we could at least give us a shot, give us a try to do, a chance to try it.
Maybe it should be a twofold thing, you know, I would also recommend the volunteers to do, you know, extra planting, because the professional, he is gonna maintain it, you know, and then you can always use him there for, any kind of advice or anything. Volunteers, I'm sure he'll work with them as far as if they wanna volunteer to plant and stuff. He's gonna be watering, he's gonna be doing everything for us, and keeping an eye on it on top of it. It might be good as a twofer thing.
I don't know, I think that a volunteer group could, do a pretty good job at it, though, to be honest with you, and save, a substantial amount of money for the city. I mean, a substantial amount. I mean, where we're at now with the bids, we only have really one, and if anything, I think that we should, you know, possibly seek, and I think that, you know, the Peru greenhouse has a great reputation. They have good plants, they have, you know, everything, they're very reputable. But for us to, go off of one quote, one estimate would be, kind of an irresponsible way to go. Being new on this committee and not really having all the details, that I need, to be able to come up with a suggestion on whether we're gonna move forward with it or not.
Why don't we ask the Peru Greenhouse if they would consider working with volunteers?
I wouldn't. I mean,
See, they have their reputation too.
Yeah.
So, you know, for them to, I think, to do
I
that,
mean, either you want it to look good or you don't, okay? I was told to keep my mouth shut.
no, that's, no, that's
I
okay.
asked the question.
Yeah, feel free. You know, that's great input, but, you know, I think that we have some good talent. I mean, my wife has a super green thumb, I know Sherry does, I mean, she's in town, was willing to step
I'll
up.
volunteer.
And I think with the amount of volunteers and the talent that we have, it is a great way to save the city money and bring volunteerism into the city. And by, you know, we still have the plants locally and do all of that. And I think it's something that we should give it a shot, give it a try. At least for this summer, because right now we're not gonna be able to, you know, I mean, even if we didn't wanna do it and the community didn't wanna move forward with it, we would still have to seek other bids and you know, get the price on the fire department and planters and plants flowers. I mean, it seems like some of these have some flowers that come with it in the planters, but it doesn't, the price doesn't.
If you drive by the planters down near the West Platts building, there's a dozen of them, and I don't see anything growing out of them at all.
Right. What I'm saying is, these quotes that we have don't include the flowers that we're gonna need for the year.
Yes, they do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
All of it?
It's all the
Does your
flowers.
estimate?
Not in the parks,
Right.
Not, oh, okay,
And see, that's something that we should know. But
and no baskets.
and no baskets, I knew no baskets.
See, and those are things that we need to know to move
Okay.
forward.
All right,
So, I take it you're not for the volunteer?
I just feel that we're so late into the growing season or the planting season that I say this year, let's get it done and then see how we're, you know, this is, we found this out on Thursday. And we've got Mother's Day coming up, we've got Memorial Day coming up, and, you know, if this